Love is Blind taught me a lot about how I used to interact with women. I had a savior complex, and I hung up the cape.
You and JR kind of got labeled as like the villains.
When I saw that, my jaw was on the floor.
No,
I'm like, no.
Cringiest dating story.
Hold on. You can't judge somebody off their cringe. Maybe it was just they're awkward or they're embarrassed.
At this big age.
You know what? I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to tell you something that I did.
That
I
you're
found.
the cringe. Okay, let's hear it.
All right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like y'all are attacking fellas right now.
No, we're not.
And I need to back us up.
What's the reality? What's the reality?
Y'all, today I got my homegirl Sandy from Ultimatum
Hi.
Season 3. We got a lot to catch up on.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
later today, we'll be joined by fan favorite, Love is Blind, Mr. Marshall himself.
Yes.
So what's life like?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I can finally come up for air now that things have kind of like settled down. But obviously, as you know, like going from nothing to then having every crevice of your life just like blasted on TV for everyone to, you know, form opinions on it's wild. It's been a really cool experience, but a really hard experience.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hard
I
in
mean,
what
life has been
way?
crazy.
Hard in what way?
You watch it back yourself and you pick up on things that you're like, oh my God, people are gonna rip that apart, and people don't even care about certain things and they rip other things apart.
Like
You're
your
like,
nail polish or your lashes.
You're like, really? It's so
They tore me up. They tore me up over those lashes. It was my bad. It was my bad.
Okay, you know it's so hard to get ready
But
for
I
all
cried
these
every
things.
day.
I know,
every
I
single
was fighting
day.
for my life.
I cried
like,
every day. Okay,
I have never cried so much. I don't know if you felt this way, but I had like a whole like ego death when I like just kind of saw everything, because it is really interesting to watch yourself on screen, and obviously it's, you know, it's not the full you no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And so that's something like I think I have so many different layers to myself. So that's been something that I've kind of had to internally navigate and just like remind myself of who I am beyond the show, beyond what happened and, you know, what's on TV. Like that's one portion of it, but that's not the full me.
Watching you was like actually
Girl,
insane.
crazy, right?
No, it was insane.
What do you think?
I
think
was
a lot.
so mad.
I
I think
was
a
so
lot.
upset.
No, I think a lot. If it wasn't JR, would you have matched with anyone else, like paired with someone else? Or was it just him from the beginning?
You mean, was I gonna match with someone else?
Yeah, was there
potentially?
anyone else?
So I was between JR and Caleb.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like seeing both of them until the very end.
Because
and-
it felt like JR from the
well,
beginning.
It's just, yeah, I mean, me and JR had like a really strong, we had really strong chemistry, honestly. And we had a lot in common, which people don't really get to see. Like we both are like we have Philly roots. We both went to Penn State, which is very random for me.
Yeah.
We both had the same major at Penn State, which was like the most random major.
Yeah, we didn't hear none of that.
Labor Employment Relations.
We didn't hear
like,
none of
who
that.
has that major? So this is all within the first 5 minutes of our conversation. I sit down, I'm wearing my green outfit. He goes, I love green. It's my favorite color. I love the Eagles. I'm like the biggest Eagles fan.
Okay.
So we were really vibing off of that. And then, you know, we both went to Penn State. We're both Scorpios, my Scorpio.
Scorpio.
And so we just actually had, it was kind of like this weird, it was one of those moments where I was like, where are the cameras?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh wait,
yeah.
they're
actually
everywhere.
here. Yeah.
So we did have a lot in common.
Yeah. I feel like energy-wise, it made sense that you gravitated towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. JR.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like I do think that, you know, the things that we had in common, the actual like substance that we had kind of got like overpowered by some of the stupid flirtatious.
I just remember watching and being like you guys would always be like, yeah, like he would be like, Sandy's taught me so much. And then you'd be like, he's taught me so much. And I'm like, what?
And you're like, what
did you learn?
about?
What did he teach you?
I know, and that kind of sucks because I was like, damn, like, I mean, girl, but this is over 2 months.
Yeah.
We're having hours and hours and hours of conversation. You know how I am. Like, I am very, like, I would challenge him. So a huge thing, like, part of it is, you know, your trial marriage, you're working on things that you want to work on in your relationship, like with your trial partner. And JR had a lot of blind spots and a lot of things that came up for me that I was like, I could see where, the disconnect is with Zaina, like where you're not showing up for her in the way that you should, a lot of things. And so I would really try and help him and show him his blind spots where, maybe he was cutting Zaina short in ways. And him and I would get into like kind of arguments about it. I would like really challenge him. Just about being more like of a team player versus so individual, like, cause he was very focused on himself. And even in a relationship, in a partnership, I could see that living with him, like, he would only want to do his own laundry, only like cook for himself. And I was like, hold on, like you live with Zaina, like you are, you're in this relationship where if this is how you're acting, I can guarantee that no one appreciates that, know? So there were a lot of things that I was trying to like challenge him on. And
okay, I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you because that sounds so lovely. But when you watch it, and like because I know that feeling of what happened versus what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's so, to me, like you being like, I'm helping him be better for you.
Well,
and then the next scene you guys are making out. And then it's just like, but girl, you don't have to worry about it because that is so, like, one is kind of shitty to see.
No, of course.
And two, I'm just like, now Sandy.
No. I hate that, trust me. Like, that was probably just kind of like the disconnect between what I was trying to explain to Zaina and like what we're seeing. That was probably my like least favorite moment.
Because how can you like 100%. Be in a trial marriage with a man that you're like, oh, he's like you're feeling him.
Yeah.
But then you also want him to be better for his girl. Like that is
because I wasn't trying to like steal on like I wasn't trying to steal him. Like it really I'm gonna be very real. It looks a lot worse than what it was. Like I don't know how else to say it, but I think we had a really flirty banter dynamic, whatever. And then like we did actually have hours and hours of conversation about our relationships, my relationship with Nick, his relationship with Zaina. And there was personally for me, there was no option of him and I walking out of there together. It just wasn't. Yeah. And I do think though that like to your point, I think that I overstepped in ways with like trying to like, say that stuff to Zaina or I guess like even just considering her in a situation where I'm also hurting her.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like a hard, weird thing because it's like.
And it was so unsolicited.
Yeah.
Like.
It's like, no, totally. And it's like the premise of the show.
Yeah.
In itself, honestly, like I probably should have just kind of removed myself from Zaina and not try to also be there for her like as a friend because you can't really do both.
Yeah, when you're married to her man.
And I think that's kind of like what we see is like I am trying to give her this
weird line.
Yeah, it is a weird line. And I definitely think that I crossed it. And that was for sure. Genuinely, I was like, when I saw that, my jaw was on the floor.
No,
I'm like, no.
But because of that, you kind of got like you and JR kind of got labeled as like the villains.
Yeah.
And what was the backlash like? Because I watched your social. I watched the people. I'm watching what everyone's saying, and I'm like, damn, they are eating my girl alive.
Yeah, well, I have thick skin.
Yeah.
And I also don't blame people.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely, like, when people were saying stuff, I was like, I agree, you guys. I don't fucking blame you.
We love a queen that
literally,
stands up.
I would respond to people.
Has some accountability.
Like I
love
would
it.
respond and be like, yeah, literally judge me harder. I don't care. Like, I don't blame you because honestly, I feel like there were just so many moments that were my worst that unfortunately are just like all over TV. And I literally just like learn from it. I don't like that's the only thing that I can do. Yeah. And that's why I think I did have such a hard time at first kind of like digesting all of it and just being like, okay, wow. I knew that it was a really weird, hard experience that we went through. And I made some mistakes along the way. I already knew that. I didn't realize, I guess, the extent of it. And so I wasn't surprised when people were saying stuff and whatever. And again, I'm like, I understand. I don't blame you. But also, there's a lot more to the story that we don't see.
There always is, yeah.
And I think that was also something that was hard for me to navigate is like, okay.
Do I take accountability or do I?
Like, of course, naturally we want to defend. But honestly, naturally, I actually was like, I don't blame you guys because I was really upset with myself, being very, very honest. So I'm not going to like try and defend something that I honestly am like, this isn't That's not how I want to represent myself or my
regardless
relationship.
of like what was cut out and how it was edited.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the other side too, yes, there of course everything, you know, is edited and whatnot. And there's just more to the story that we don't see and that I, you know, can speak on more of, especially with my relationship with Nick. But I think just navigating like the JR trial marriage in general, like that was not my proudest moment. So
before we get to Nick, there's something that I feel like we can relate to each other about. There was a lot of talk of how JR over-sexualized you and kind of over-sexualized the whole experience. And on my show, there was a lot of talk about, oh, AD's being over-sexualized, blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Girl.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh
yeah, like, oh, your body.
Just her body, and she's leading with her body, and she blah, 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 blah. Like, we both got that, where it's like, because we, like, stand in our confidence, we kind of took the shit for that.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
That was one of the weirdest things, honestly. And I wasn't really anticipating that because, especially with Ultimatum, like, we're having hours of conversation about life, family, goals, like childhood, spirituality. It was a very like deep, intense experience and not very like sexual and funny. And so it was really weird for me to actually see myself kind of so sexualized. And I think a lot of it had to do with JR.
I agree. And I saw the clips where they put that little montage of him together. Mortified.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of things with that though. Like, because I'm very comfortable and confident in my sexuality. Like I always have been. I'm a flirty person. I love to like flirt and, you know, especially when we're like, okay, like you guys are like dating, whatever. And I maybe leaned into that a little bit too much with the flirtiness. But definitely, you know, I think there was a bit of it being over-sexualized by JR and the jokes. And I mean, you know how that is. And it wasn't just with me.
Yeah, no, I know.
It was not just with me.
I saw.
I think, unfortunately for me, sometimes like I can kind of just go along with things a little bit more than I want to, especially in a weird, uncomfortable environment.
It's easier to laugh it off.
Yeah, when you're on camera. I don't want to embarrass anybody. It's like I don't want to make it uncomfortable. But there definitely were moments where I'm like, speak up, like tell him to shut up.
When you guys were like one-on-one, like I know it was like flirty, but was he like overtly like sexual?
No, he really wasn't.
Or he was just like jokey.
It was more just like jokey.
Where are y'all now with Nick? Have you talked to him? Are y'all in contact? Is he okay? Are you okay?
Oh my God. I mean, it's just been a hard one, you know. We're on good terms.
Okay.
Like, we have like mutual respect and care for each other, but I don't need any sort of relationship with him anymore. And I think it just got dragged out.
Yeah.
And I personally, I'm exhausted. I'm beyond exhausted. I was exhausted a year ago.
No, I bet.
So imagine how I feel now.
No, I bet.
Like, I'm like mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted with him. And you know, I really care about him as a person and genuinely want only the best for him. But it's like, you know, I think that there's just been so many lines that were crossed. And it's been a really hard thing to navigate with the show because it's like so much of it, I feel like I was kind of protecting him and trying to like, I don't know. And in return, hurting myself.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot that like I could speak up on and people be like, oh, wow, okay.
Well, is there anything you want to speak up on and have the
I mean, I think it's obviously pretty, it's out there that, you know, he struggles with substance abuse. And that's something that was really coming up while we were on the show. And it's something that's been really present in our relationship is his addiction. And how he's constantly, you know, put drugs and alcohol before me in our relationship. And I think anybody that has been with an addict knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone that's loved somebody that has substance abuse issues, it really, really can be an unhealthy dynamic. Yeah. And that's honestly what we're seeing on the show is like, there's like this cycle. And that's why in some parts of it, I look so disconnected. And then other parts, I look like I'm like so hurt and upset because it's just like this cycle.
And it's hard to explain what's really going on when you don't want to expose someone's personal life. Like, where do we draw the line between, y'all, don't be mad at me. This man is, you know, living this kind of life, but you have to protect yourself and him. That's a lot.
So that was basically like kind of the biggest thing that I told myself, like, through it and after it. I was like, you know, this is his personal journey and battle. While it has serious, like, direct impacts on me in our relationship, it's not my internal battle. So, like, I don't want to be the one to speak on this. I want to give him the opportunity and, like, the respect to speak on it himself. And that's what I did. And that's why I kept quiet on a lot of stuff. And that's why there's a lot of things that just people are like, it's you're saying one thing, but I'm not seeing it. It's because it's like, read between the lines. If you read between the lines, it's all right there. And I think, you know, something that I kind of struggled with during the show and after is just like trying to find a balance between, you know, respecting him because I love him genuinely and I care about him as a person regardless of our relationship, but also respecting myself and speaking up for myself. And like, it's like a very fine line, you know?
And doing all that on TV.
On TV.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So that was actually the hardest part, I think, just to navigate because it is such a complex situation in itself to navigate without cameras, without other people involved. It's the most complex relationship I've ever had because of his addiction and substance abuse. So doing that with cameras and with people's opinions and, you know, things look a certain way and maybe that's not how it actually happened. It's like, I feel like I was kind of like crumbling on the inside, trying to like hold it all together.
No, I know. You did look so hurt, especially on the reunion. I was like, my girl is so devastated.
Like, I don't cry, you guys. Like, people are like, you keep crying. I'm like, if a Scorpio is crying on TV, send help.
Okay.
Literally send help.
Okay, because something's wrong. Something's off.
It is a 911.
Yeah.
And I was crying a lot.
I know.
I actually try and hold back tears as much as I can. So it's like when I'm really crying, like I was like, I could not hold it together because I was actually crumbling on the inside because there was just so much that I was trying to like navigate and hold together and kind of like keep inside. And I kind of knew that, you know, it looked a certain way on the outside. And I was, you know, I had a lot of resentment towards Nick because of that. Because I was like, if people only actually knew what was really going on. But, you know, again, like he did speak up on it eventually. And when he was ready, again, I wanted to give him that opportunity to do that himself. It's his story, but it is a hard thing when it has a direct impact on you and your relationship is on TV.
Right.
So it's like people do want to know what's actually going on. So yeah, it was
I think
such a
you
weird
navigated
thing.
it like to the best of your ability. Because again, it's not our job to expose people. It's not our job to tell people's deepest, darkest secret. It's our job to say, this is my life. This is what I'm dealing with. And I'm showing the world. And this is, you know, that's all you can really do. So I give you some kudos.
Thank you.
I give you props. You know I love you.
Yeah.
So as it stands, the relationship with Nick is...
It's over.
It's done.
We're done.
We don't
We're done.
talk.
Oh yeah. No. He has a girlfriend and, you know, I, again, will care about him always as a human, want the best for him, but like the cord had to be cut. I can't. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. And so where's the cord with JR? Do y'all still chat?
No, I would say there's no cord with me and JR. I don't know
who cut that cord.
I don't know if there even was a cord.
Do you talk to anyone else from the cast?
Yeah, I'm really close with Aria. She's my girl.
She's so sweet.
I love her.
Yeah. Zaina?
I'm friends with Zaina.
She's so cute.
Yeah. Me, Zaina and Aria got dinner after the reunion together.
Okay.
Right? So it was actually a really nice, like, peaceful thing where we're like, okay, cool, we can all like come together.
I love that.
And me and Zaina have had a lot of conversations just about everything. I've apologized to her like countless times. And, you know, I think that we just kind of, she understands just more of like what was going on and whatever. And, you know, she's shown me like a lot of grace through everything, which I appreciate. And she's a gem. Like, love her, love Aria, love Chanel. I mean, Mariah, Vanessa, all of them.
Yeah.
I talked to all the girls, honestly.
Yeah. I love that. You are a girl's girl.
I'm a girl's girl, bitches.
You are. I mean, you had some not girl's girl moments. I'm not gonna let that slide.
I know, but I'm like, but that
overall,
call me anything, but call me not a girl's girl. That's why I'm like, oh, no.
I know. Are you happy, healthy, and healed?
Yes, I'm very happy, healthy, and healed.
You're glowing.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, no, I think especially just like, you know, kind of going through all of this stuff and you know, it not being the best experience, I'll be very transparent, like it being a really hard, weird experience for me. Like I am like grateful for it in a way because it's made me really grow like internally as a person and actually heal things that I maybe am like, I think if it went really well, I wouldn't have had to like look within myself on some things and be like, okay, Sandy, like be really real with yourself here and like just have those moments of like vulnerability with myself, which is not the easiest thing for me to do, honestly. So I genuinely actually feel like now that I'm kind of on the other side of it, I do just feel like better about myself as a person. And I do feel happy, healthy, and healed.
Period. We have Marshall joining us. Say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
So last time I saw you,
the reunion.
Yes. We were kind of giving updates. You moved to LA. Maybe we start there. How's LA treating you?
LA's been great.
Yeah.
Opportunities here are fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like the community here is just strong and vibrant. There's creatives every corner.
Yeah.
And you can find anything, anywhere here.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to do, so much to see.
You're thriving like creatively on social media.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I feel like you found your little pocket.
Yeah.
And you're thriving in it.
Yeah.
And the people are like gravitating.
Yes. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you pick that avenue?
Well, it just got to a point where I wasn't enjoying the social media. I wasn't enjoying the public spotlight.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, what can you do to change that instead of just complaining? And here we are.
What are you doing now?
I'm just taking my social media a little bit more seriously and what I want to post.
Yeah.
And thinking about things that will make me happy.
Yeah.
And not caring about what anybody has to say about what I'm posting or anything like that.
Right.
Just
okay, cool.
being me creatively.
Obviously, we are a Love is Blind family. And I know we're like kind of removed from both of our seasons at this point. Do you have anything that you bring with you like daily that is just like a huge takeaway that you're maybe bringing into your day-to-day or like your dating?
From Love is Blind?
Our show,
Well, yeah, for sure with dating, which I am not. I just want to clear that. I'm not dating. I'm very much single and focused on myself. If there does come a time where I do start to enter the dating world again, Love is Blind taught me a lot about what I don't want.
That part.
It taught me a lot about myself and how I used to interact with women. I had a savior complex and I hung up the cape. Can't save everybody.
Yeah, we were just talking about
hung
that
up
kind
the
of.
cape.
We were just talking about that. Everybody don't want to be saved either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. And not to say that the woman who I was with on the show needed saving. That's just what I thought.
It almost has nothing to do with them and to do with yourself and what how you want to show up for someone.
Exactly.
And that's what we do as women too. It's like it has nothing to do with them even.
Yeah.
It's just,
and I would take it even a step further. My therapist taught me that it was also a bit of a control thing too.
Okay.
And I'm releasing a lot of control on things that have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I can only control myself and how I show up,
Yeah.
and I cannot control the people around me and how they perceive me. So I am relinquishing that.
With that newfound realization, do you think that played any part into like your engagement ending with your most recent engagement ending?
Well, that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
I feel like controlling what I could in that regard was it was a difficult one. I wanted something more professionally because in Seattle, I mean,
right. Seattle.
You're out of market.
Yeah.
There are no opportunities for you in a city like Seattle. You're
Yeah.
just too far removed from everything. Like, you're in California,
Yeah.
you understand. You're in Charlotte, but you travel a lot. So you understand that there are markets for what we do.
For sure.
And I just wanted to take that to the next level.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was dealing with a lot of mental strain, and I just wanted something to like pull me out of that. And I thought, hey, let me just change my environment, go for what I really want to do. And unfortunately, I just couldn't have both. I couldn't have my cake and eat it too. She just wants someone who is there with her 100%. She's
and
not
that's
wrong.
So respectable. Yeah.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
But it hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I hurt her too, 100%. I know, I'm not sure, I know that I hurt her. But at the end of the day, we are humans and we have to do the best we can. There's no rule book, there's no playbook. We just have to do the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys still friends at least?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I hope.
I would hope.
Yeah.
So you did the Gents Talk, and it was not the easiest watch, but definitely very emotional, inspiring. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. Shout out to Gents Talk. Samir, you're my guy. He reached out to me actually just based off of the content that I've been putting out. He had no idea who I was outside of that. He saw a reel of mine and reached out and thought I would be a great fit and wanted to know more about my story. And that was the moment that I figured that it was probably best to talk about what I've been going through, because that's what Gents Talk is about. It's about men opening up and being vulnerable and sharing emotional truths. And my emotional truth was, last year was just very tough for me mentally, and I was going to take my own life. And it just got to a point where like I had always been like morbidly curious, but never thought about how to do it. And then one day I'm just down in the dumps, just crazy depressed. Nothing is going right for me in my life, or I feel like nothing's going right. That's what my internal monologue is telling me. And those voices, that darkness, just got a little bit louder, got a little bit darker. And I felt like I was in this box, and I could turn right, left, up, down, wherever. And it just felt like the walls were just getting closer and closer and closer, and nothing. No favorite meal, no favorite movie, no favorite song could lift me out of that. And I knew I had a problem when I was okay with this particular time that I talked to my mom. I was okay with that being the last time I talked to her. And I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, this is bad. I talk to my mom every day, multiple times throughout the day.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that being the last time.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna do what I felt like I had to do, but I couldn't. And at that moment, I decided to I had to remove myself from that current environment. And I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. Seattle is a very rainy city, and this is at peak rain season. And I lived on a very busy street in downtown Seattle. And you could, at any time of the day, there's buses, cars, bikes, people walking. Nobody was out there. No cars, no buses, no bikes, no people, nothing. And I'm walking in the rain. I had on like a cutoff t-shirt and basketball shorts and a pair of slides. And I'm just walking. And then I walked around the Space Needle. I came around back to my apartment, and I'm like, I want to live. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm happy you took that walk.
Thank you. Me too. I'm glad I'm here.
I'm glad you're here. We're all glad you're here.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
That's not easy to even kind of admit to yourself and out loud, especially on, but you're not alone. A lot of people go through that, and it doesn't make you like, I think it's like a kind of a human experience sometimes that we deal with.
Yeah.
But that's, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Of
that.
course. It helps me heal, and just I hope that someone out there can resonate with that.
Someone will.
And choose life.
Someone will, for sure. I think your platform and just being who you are and being in the light and the way that you do shine, I think you are a role model.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You mentioned talking to others helped you heal. What about being open with your struggles is helping you with your healing?
I feel like just speaking out loud about something, it definitely, it has like a two-part, right? It makes it sound kind of not like weird that it's coming out of your mouth, but it almost sounds silly. Like if I say what I was dealing with out loud, I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You good? Like, but it's just that internal monologue that drives you deeper down the hole. And that's what I feel like helps me when I talk about it, is just opening up about all things, suicide, depression, and just overall unwellness. That helps me realize that, all right, maybe I was tripping a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
And those are not easy topics at all.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't talk about that stuff. And we all deal and battle with our own internal demons and battles on a day-to-day. So I never want you to feel alone for any second. Like we are all dealing with something. And I think, especially being in the space of entertainment and this industry and then being a Black man and like expressing something like that is so powerful. So I never want you to, for 1 second, think that you're going crazy or you shouldn't be saying these things. Like you absolutely should. And it's, you never know who's watching. Yeah. You never know who's listening.
Everybody goes through those things, but not everybody talks about it. And it's really, admirable that you can speak on it. And it's inspiring for a lot of people, and when you can actually talk about things, you can kind of like disappear it in a way because when it's out here, it's actually less scary than when it's in here. It's like, that's the
hard part.
It's like the healing part of it is when you can actually admit to things and like talk about it. Okay. And then you deal with it. When it's all in here and you're not even like, you're not even admitting things to yourself, that's when it can get really scary.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when you feel the most isolated.
Yes.
And so that's another thing that helps me too, is just to know that I'm not alone, because when I do speak about it, there are comments, just flooding comments of people saying, I'm dealing with something too.
Yes.
This helps me. And that's why I continue with the social media content that I put out. I do fear that I am going down a dangerous route of becoming the face of that when I don't feel like I have that. Like that's not my responsibility. Like that's a weight that I don't feel like I should carry, because I'm not a therapist. I'm not someone who went to school and understands psychoanalyses and all this stuff.
You're just talking about your experience.
I'm just talking about my experience and hoping that somebody can relate with that and open up about their struggles too. And so I was having a conversation with someone who's very near and dear to my heart, who's helping me, guide through this social media stuff. And they were just telling me, just like, be careful about positioning yourself like that, because then that makes you a subject matter expert. The more you continue to post and the more virality you assume.
How do you feel about that?
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how to
kind of pivot a little,
transition out of that, but still continue to do the same thing, just at a smaller scale.
Still advocate.
Yeah, because it was every week I was putting out something.
Yeah. What's next then? What are you thinking?
I just want to show more of me.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show more of my personality, because I want to, as much as I love our franchise, and I love the fans, I'm more than Love is Blind.
Yeah.
You are more than the Ultimatum. You are more than Love is Blind.
Yeah.
When I walk the streets and people say, hey, you're that guy from that show, that kind of fucks with me a little bit.
Right.
I'm Marshall.
First and foremost.
I have a name.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't know that.
Yeah.
But that's also on me, that I didn't separate myself in that regard. And that's a challenge that a lot of reality TV people face. You assume the franchise that you were birthed into.
Absolutely.
And you can go outside of that. You can do certain spinoffs. You can join another show. And then you assume that show, that title. And
you're no longer human after a while.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You're like a character.
Bit. Yeah, you are.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. It's weird because the character is technically you. It's reality. So you're not an actor.
Yeah. It's like I loved your character.
Yeah, you're
Someone said that to me. Someone wrote on my Instagram and said, "You're my favorite actor from Love is Blind." I said, "Whoop."
You're like,
that wasn't acting. Those are real tears, baby. That was real pain.
Real
that was
trauma.
Real heartache.
Yep.
Real trauma.
Yep.
She said, "You're my favorite actor." I said, "Wow."
Isn't that
we went
upsetting a little bit?
Like my real life has been turned into
it's just,
that.
I mean, that's what people see when they see anyone on a TV screen. They're like, it's a character.
Has to be fake.
It's a show. It's a movie. And it's hard being on the side of it that we are, where it's like your real intense life, your love life especially. It's like, oh my gosh, it's weird. And we were just talking about that before you got here, kind of about the weird, almost like an ego death that I went through, like seeing myself as a character on TV. And I'm like, whoa, but like, I'm so much more than that. Like I just am, regardless of if it was good or bad, you're more than that. So I was gonna ask you, like, based on, you know, what like Love is Blind and your experience and everything, like, do you feel like it was a good representation of you, or even are you still like, I'm so much more than that?
Yeah, well, thankfully, I was portrayed in a light that I feel like is accurate to who I am as a person. Obviously, things were dramatized a little bit.
Yes.
And there were certain parts of my season that I feel like made me look like I'm a pushover. Like I'm weak. Like I'm just this sensitive guy who cries about everything. No, that's not it. You don't know me. You don't know where I come from. You don't know the family that I'm from. Like you don't know any of that. And so now it's on me to show you that.
Yeah.
And I just haven't.
Yeah. Good. It's weird to like dig yourself out of the trenches of people's opinion. And especially when the masses make this one opinion. Like of me, I'm still battling allegations that I'm chasing red flags. Like I will forever be AD's so stupid. She's so silly. She'll never get it. She'll never see it. And I'm just like, oh my God, you saw one relationship that I put my all into and it's my fault. It's my fault. And it's just like, I battle that daily. Because then like I started dating and I'm like, oh my God, is that a red flag? Is that a red flag? Now I'm internalizing what people are putting on me.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh my God, I do chase red flags. Oh my God, I am.
Right.
It's just like, I didn't think that before.
Yeah.
It was brought to my attention that maybe I do that, but that's not who I am. And that's not who I'll continue to be. So it's like.
Yeah.
Well, you do have an army behind you too.
Listen.
You got an army behind you. You know it.
Damn right.
I do.
Let's be honest.
People have my bag.
But I'm not trying to discredit you.
No, that's okay. People have my back, which I appreciate.
As they should.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's game time.
Oh shit, wait.
Yeah, let's all shake it off a little bit. Okay, I think let's do a good old fashioned 2 truths and a lie.
Wait, I need to think. Hold on. Fuck.
Should I go first?
Yes.
Okay. I love pepperoni pizza. My favorite body part on a man is hands. And Ariana Grande follows me on Instagram.
I know Ari follows you.
You don't like hands. That's a lie.
I feel like you like some nice big hands. Do you like pepperoni pizza? I'm going to say you... Oh, no, you don't like pepperoni pizza. You don't eat meat, really.
I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
She knows me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love some big manly hands. Yeah. I don't eat meat. And
yes.
Ariana Grande.
No pepperoni for you. Yes.
You sold it though.
I did, right?
You sold it.
Yeah.
Okay, who's ready?
That was actually a good one.
Thank you. That was kind of off the dome.
All right. I got it.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Wait, I need to look at you when you say it so I know when the lie comes.
Okay. I'll start with food. My favorite food, chicken wings. I am a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And I used to date a now Grammy Award winning recording artist.
Wow, that's hard. So 2 of those are true.
I played this game wrong. Let's switch the rules.
What?
2 lies and the truth.
Yeah, what? I know. I'm like, it's easier to do 2 lies than a truth.
Let's.
Okay, so the truth was the Grammy-winning X.
Wait, so, okay, now I'm confused.
Well, now we need to know the truth, Marshall.
Yeah, what's the truth?
Hey, I can eat chicken wings all day, every day.
Okay.
And I am not a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
And I'm speaking that into existence, dating a Grammy Award-winning.
Got it. Damn, that was so specific, though.
Whoever.
That was a really specific
Grammy's
one.
hit our boy up.
Yes, okay.
Paulie Bailey, has you want something?
You know she's dating Burna Boy.
I don't care.
Oh. Oop.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Wait, what's your favorite flavor of wings?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Gotta keep it to the OG.
Interesting.
Yeah, keep it to my East Coast heritage.
Okay,
You know?
Buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, I think so.
Do you know the rules? 2 truths.
2 truths and a lie.
1 lie.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I should do it again. No, I'm not.
Okay, I have 1 tattoo. I do not dye my hair. And I am a mean chef.
I know my girl can cook. So that's the truth.
I feel like you have multiple tattoos.
I don't think my queen has any tattoos. I don't think you have any tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No tattoos.
Okay.
Period.
All right.
So you've never dyed your hair. What?
So yeah, no, I've like toned my hair before, but I never dye my hair.
Wow.
I don't like touch my hair. It's very.
What
it's
does
weird.
tone mean? Teach
like
me
you
something.
put a little like gloss in it to
Okay.
like whatever.
Mhm.
Zhuzh, give it a
but
little
I
zhuzh.
don't dye my hair.
Okay.
I never get highlights. I don't really touch it.
Okay.
But maybe I should start. I don't know.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, next game.
Mhm.
Cringiest dating story. I don't have one because I don't date anymore.
Because you don't have any
I don't-
cringy dating
no, I
stories
don't.
from the past.
No, I might. Okay, I went on this one date. This is post-show with this guy. And like he kept asking me about Love is Blind, but he was like, yeah, I never saw your show. And I was like, okay, unsolicited, never asked. And then he'd be like, so you got engaged on the show? I'm like, yeah, why keep talking about it? We talked about Love is Blind the whole date. I couldn't tell you after we left. I didn't know his last name.
Stop.
I didn't know where he's from because all we did was talk about the show. And he was just like, that's so weird that you did that. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Judgy?
Fan.
Judgy? But he was so interested. It's like, you obviously saw the show. You know
Where'd you meet him?
exactly who I am. Hinge. Unhinged.
You know, every
It's
couple from my
unhinged.
season of The Ultimatum met on Hinge. It was like the dating app
Wait, say that
season.
that makes
Every
sense.
couple from my season of The Ultimatum, we all met on Hinge. Every
Oh,
one of them.
damn. Okay.
Interesting.
It was so weird.
Okay.
Anyways, cringy dating stories, mine's all over TV. My cringiest dating moments are broadcasted for everybody to see. So I don't know what else more I don't know what could top that.
You know what was kind of cringe?
What? Everything?
The pool, like you and JR at the pool.
I can't watch that scene.
That was so cringy.
I can't watch it. Cringy, yeah. I'm trying to think of other cringy dates. I went on a date a while ago. This was like years ago when I was in college, but like I'll never forget this guy, like literally didn't ask me one question on the entire date, you guys. Like not
that.
one. I'd be
Love
like,
that.
so how old are you? He's like, da, da, da. Like when he asked me, I'm like, so weird. I'm so like in tune with that
Yeah,
stuff too.
me
Because I'm all
too.
about like conversation.
Yeah. He just
and
liked the sound of his own
it's
voice.
so weird
Yeah.
anyways, but I'm trying to think of other stuff.
Marshall.
You got multiple.
I know she's like going through
Good.
the
God.
Rolodex of cringe.
No, I mean, yeah.
I don't want to trigger you, girl. You sound
Yeah.
you look
Right.
sad.
I'm all right.
You
It's
unloading
okay.
the clip over here.
And one time.
And then this
At
other
band
time.
camp.
Bandcamp is crazy.
No.
Hold on. You can't judge somebody off their cringe. Maybe it was just they're
At this big
awkward or
age, you
they're
can.
embarrassed. Come
At
on
this
now.
big
You know what? I'm
age,
going to switch it up. I'm
it's
going to
the
tell you
ick.
something that I did that
That
I
you're
found.
the cringe. Okay, let's hear it.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like y'all are attacking fellas right now.
No, we're not.
And I need to back us up. So I'm gonna do something for y'all. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus.
Yeah. Let's talk about Icks.
I'm gonna throw myself under the bus.
Okay, let's hear it.
To save the fellas. Okay.
So now I'm scared.
This was years ago, like a few years after I graduated college. This is like, actually no, it was like a year after I graduated, so like 2017, 2018. And I was really interested in this young lady. We met on Instagram of all places, and finally got through to the DMs. Finally got out the DMs to the iMessage. Finally got from the iMessage to in person.
Okay.
When I tell you I was nervous, buddy, goodness gracious, and I stutter. So when my brain is moving faster than my mouth, I can stutter.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens when I'm excited, right? So the first thing that I say, what I want to say is, hello, you are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
What did you say?
How can that go wrong?
It was a mix between like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Porky the Pig. I just couldn't get it out.
No. So what did...
So I had to reset. Now, I own it. And I just reset. I'm like, okay. Hello. You are gorgeous.
Okay, I mean, that's not that
But
bad.
it was like a...
Did she laugh it off?
It was a moment where she was just like, don't you know when somebody's stuttering, you're saying, okay.
Oh, get it out. Get it out.
There's
That's what she was doing.
supportive. She's like,
Yeah, and I was just like...
Like, all right, let me start over.
How did the rest of the night go?
Great.
Okay.
It went great.
Did you get a date too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little stutter.
Yeah.
And she probably thought it was cute.
Yeah, but to her, it's probably, if she was invited out, she would sit down on this couch and say...
That's not a whole ick. That's like a 1 month.
Okay, we're talking about cringe, not ick. That's two different things.
Yeah, that would be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about an ick? You got an ick?
I got a bunch of
We got
icks.
lots of icks.
I know you do. Based off of how many cringy moments you had. So I'm joking.
I feel like anything in this day and age can be an ick. I really do. I feel like
y'all got a list.
Icks are like not even necessarily negative. They're just icks.
It's just
like when guys get cold.
Why are you cold?
It's kind of an ick. It's like,
why
are you shivering? Why are you chattering?
Crazy. You want to share the blanket? I'm a girl. Icky. No, just kidding. Or like you guys order drinks and then his comes with a straw.
Oh, see, I'm like, whatever.
The straw will
Can't
send
get cold.
Can't get cold.
Can't drink through a straw.
No.
If you can't find a parking spot.
Or
can't find a parking spot in a busy mall or
my
a
biggest ick with guys parking, if they can't like parallel park.
Oh, yeah.
And they pull out 3 times. You got 2 times to like line that car up.
That's like game
On the 3rd time, I'm like,
okay, y'all are saying, yeah. Do y'all know how to parallel park?
I do.
I'm
from
a great driver.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
If you pull out 3 times, let me out. I'll go get the table.
Yeah.
And then people are waiting and they're like, go around.
Okay, justified.
Thank you.
I'm a driver, so it was like,
that would
okay,
freak
justified.
me out. I would sink in the chair. I'd be like, you want me to do it?
Okay, so if I'm cold and I get like chicken skin, you're like, never again.
No, you can get like chicken skin, but like if you start like kind of like shaking and like chattering your teeth when I'm over here trying to like keep it together, but oh hell no, dude.
You know what's an ick?
I'm like, give me your jacket.
You know what's an ick? If we're going out somewhere, you ask what the weather is. I tell you it's cold, and you choose not to bring a jacket.
And
I'm nice and cozy in my jacket, and you want mine. Ick.
One thing
Never
about
seen you
it
again.
is like women, we don't want our men to be happy or warm. So if you're smiling too much, why are you like? If I'm not around, I don't want any joy. If I call you and you pick up the phone,
having fun?
And you're having fun.
Wait, AD goofy.
What if I'm on a video games with my boys and I'm like
There's
having
a
a great
difference
time?
between being funny and goofy.
Goofy is a strike.
Goofy could
That's a
stay
strike.
home.
That's beyond an ick and a cringe. Goofy is
Goofy's
crazy. Goofy is a strike.
Yeah,
Goofy,
there's a difference between being
imagine-
funny and like goofy.
Or it's like you introduce him to your friends and he's like, yeah, he's a little goofy.
Goofy's not
unrealistic.
Like
This is so unrealistic.
Funny. You can be like funny and like
funny,
jolly, like the
good
funny
sense of
guy. But if your
humor.
boyfriend is, if anybody described my man as goofy, I don't know if I can continue the relationship.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Yeah.
I don't think I like this conversation anymore.
Okay, Marshall, what are some icks?
Yeah,
that
what are your
girls do?
icks?
You want it for real?
Let's hear it.
List of icks.
Chunky sneakers. New Balances.
Okay.
Gold bangles. No, I'm playing.
You're calling this an ick? No, you're not.
Magenta goblets.
It's getting icky over here.
I'm a very easygoing guy. I don't have a lot of icks. I think if you chew too loud, it's an ick.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like realistic icks.
Yeah.
Not if you get cold, it's an ick.
Yeah.
If you chew too loud.
Showing signs of cold. You can be cold. Just don't.
There you go. There you go. That's it. Showing signs of coldness.
Butt cracks.
Butt cracks, yeah. If a guy like chokes on his water, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. It goes down the wrong pipe.
So bodily function is an ick.
Why are you choking? Breathe.
You sneezing?
Yeah.
Date over. Take me home.
Or like if a guy doesn't do a full sneeze, if he goes...
Like, let it out.
Let it out.
Say it loud and proud.
Chest. No. Ick. Okay. I'm glad we got that out the way.
Yeah.
For future references, if you sneeze around Sandira, it's going to be an issue. Just take notes, okay?
Yes.
So, post shows, we're now in our real reality, our real lives. Anybody can answer this. Like, what do you feel that you know now that you didn't know then?
I think I've learned a lot about myself. A lot of things that I didn't really know or maybe like fully understand. But I think one of them is just kind of realizing that, you know, I need to set some more boundaries for myself and be a little bit more stern with that. And it's not selfish to put yourself first.
Yeah.
I think that's something that, you know, I always try to like show up for other people and whatnot. And I put myself kind of on the back burner, but that's actually not healthy. So I think just like kind of having that mirror of going through reality TV, you know, it's not selfish to put yourself first, and creating boundaries and sticking to it is like actually like one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. And if you don't, things can get really...
People are only going to treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Exactly. That's a big one.
That's strong. And I feel that because boundaries was not my bag. My therapist was like, girl, do you know how to say no?
I can be a people pleaser.
No, I don't.
Right. It's like, it's actually hard to set your boundaries and really stick to it, you know? But it's like when things are mirrored in that way, it's like you owe that to yourself. So that was a really big takeaway that I had from it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, like you see from watching yourself and you see from the comments too. Just like you said earlier, like people are telling you stand up AD. Like maybe you just didn't see that back then. So I 100% agree with that. I mean, for me, I kind of alluded to it earlier, just you can't save everybody.
Yeah.
And to break that down even further, I would say that is also something that I alluded to earlier is just the control. I learned that I can only control myself and how I show up and let the pieces fall around me as they may. Whether that's friends, romantic relationships, opportunities, money, whatever.
Yeah.
Just continue to be me authentically and genuinely.
Control what you can
control. What I can control.
Yeah.
And whatever is out of that, ain't got nothing to do with me.
Love that.
Yeah.
And if it happens for me, it was meant for me.
Yeah.
And forcing something based out of necessity to control something is no bueno. It's not going to work out. At the end of the day, it's not.
So dope. Y'all, these shows changed us.
Yep.
It's actually insane. Like, do you feel like you would be this like person without the show?
No.
Or this quickly like become this person?
No. I'd just be like minding my own.
Yeah.
It does. It totally forces you to deal with things and get real with things. Be really vulnerable with yourself in ways that you wouldn't have to. But it's all for the better.
Yeah.
Truly.
Honestly, still doing the same things I was before the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Like still controlling or trying to control things, control the people around me, or not even control them, but just like control their perception or their emotions that are tied to me. Still trying to save women, who I felt need saving.
They don't want to be saved. Don't
stuff.
save them.
Yeah, we got to take a book from Jermaine Cole. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a powerful thing because control, I've been in relationships and where men use that tactic, the control thing. And it's hard to explain. Like you're trying to, like you said, control perspective and how I see you and how that's a weird thing to get out of. So like the fact that you can even admit it and say like, I did this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this. And I don't want to be that person. I think that's so dope.
Admitting is the first step.
First step to healing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys, this has been a pleasure.
I love you. You're the best.
This is amazing. Thanks for having me.
You guys, that was so much fun. Feel free to follow on all platforms at What's the Reality Pod and subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
What's the reality? What's the reality?